My name's Kirsten. I'll be explaining the prisoner dilemma. So its formal definition is a scenario in which the gains from cooperation are larger than the rewards from pursuing self-interest. It applies well to oligopolies. To better explain this, let's look at the non-formal definition, which is just the famous example that everyone knows. So I drew it out here, and so basically it goes where two criminals are arrested and they are put in two separate interrogation rooms. And then officers say to them both that your partner in the other room is confessing. So if you remain silent, you will get 8 years while they get 1 year. However, if you also confess, then you will get 5 years and they will also get 5 years. As you can see in these boxes, right? So let's look at an example from prisoner A, right? Prisoner A is going to confess anyway, because if B doesn't confess, they only get 1 year. But if B confesses, then they will both get 5 years instead of A getting 8 years if it doesn't confess. However, if they both don't confess, they get 2 years. Both, which is the better option out of all of them, which means if they act in self-interest, they actually get worse outcome, which is confessing, where if they both don't confess and don't act in self-interest, they get a better option, which is 2 years in prison. You might be wondering, how does this apply to economics? Well, let's look at an example of two oligopolies, specifically a duopoly, which agree to hold down output. And so it would make a diagram like this. And basically, firm A decides, actually, I'm not going to do that. They want to increase output. So if A increases output, they would get $1,500, but B would only get $200. However, if B also decides to increase output, then they both would only get $400. However, they both hold output, they would get $1,000 each. Which you can see, the same concept applies. If they both act in self-interest, they both get $400. However, if they don't act in self-interest, they would both get $1,000, which is a better option out of all of them. So I hope that explains prisoner dilemma, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.